Welcome. I'm Omar Zenhom. I'm the co-founder of WebinarNinja. Great to have everybody here. I see everybody jumping into the webinar now. How's everybody feeling today? It's good to see everybody here. I love all the chat coming in here. Okay, here we go. I'm just adjusting my screen here so I can see everything. We got Yavuz. Yavuz is new to Rule and others like that. I hope it'll be useful for me. I'm hoping as well. I'd love to hear a little bit about what you do and who you serve. Tell me a little bit about your business, as well as what would be a win for you today. As you're joining me today, what would be a win, uh, a great outcome for you at the end of this webinar? What are you looking to gain? One thing you're looking to gain. Hey, Christina, I'm the community manager here at Rule. Great to have you, Christina. I'm really excited to be here and grateful for WebinarNinja. Thank you so much for the great opportunity. Thank you so much for being here. Ice, personally, I'm hoping to gain some useful, valuable insights on how, let's read more. Hoping to get on how to showcase my professional expertise more effectively. It can be challenging to stand out in such a competitive industry. So true. So I'm eager to learn more about new strategies that I can implement in my work. Awesome. Love it. We also got Nicole. Nicole's my co-founder at WebinarNinja. She likes to hop in random webinars that I do to see who we're serving, learn a little bit more about our audience. So great to have you here, Nicole. Awesome. Yavu says, I'm dealing with cybersecurity, especially Pinterest or Pentists. Forgive me if I got that wrong there. Great to have everybody here. Awesome. So as you're joining, I see people coming in. So as you're joining, please introduce yourself. Let us know about what would be a win for you today in today's webinar as I get started. Today's webinar topic is how to turn your expertise into revenue. How to take what you know, your skill set, your experience, and create and sell live workshops with that knowledge. Okay. I know a little bit about that. I ran over 500 webinars in my days. So I'm going to show you a whole system that you can implement so you can get the right leads and the right sales so that you can keep these customers happy. A lot of people overcomplicate this thing. They think they have to be everywhere at once. But today I'm going to give you a full system so that you know exactly how to get started and how to actually go from $0 to $1, right? Or whatever you charge for your workshop. So we're going to get into that for sure. Penetration testing, oh, for sure. Totally get you. Awesome. Okay. So what makes today's webinar a little bit different? Well, for sure, for first thing I want to say is that I'm not selling you a course. I'm not going to tell you this is why it's so important and this is why if you don't do this is what's going to happen and put some fear in you. No. And then say, if you want to get all the information and buy my course, that's not what this is. All right. I'm not selling you a course. I'm actually going to give you all the information you need so you can get started and start selling your expertise with live workshops. Okay. I'm also not going to be using any hype or hyperbole. Everything I'm going to be sharing with you today is based on real data, real experiences for over 20,000 people that have used our software, WebinarNinja, to sell courses, to sell live workshops, to do all kinds of stuff. Okay. So all this is based in reality. I'm not going to be selling you some dream about living on the beach with laptop on the beach with on a hammock and all that kind of stuff. No, this is all based in reality. Okay. The other thing is I'm going to show you everything you need to know. The what, the why, and the how, right? How many of you have been on a webinar? And be honest, you can put in the chat right now. How many of you have been on a webinar where you saw the webinar topic, you're like, this sounds great. I'm going to go on this webinar. I'm going to learn a ton. And then they just leave you hanging. They don't really tell you how to do anything, right? How many have put your hand up, say yes, me, or something in the chat if that has that experience has happened to you in the past? Okay. I know it has happened to me several times. So this is my promise to you. Okay. My promise to you is I'm going to give you a complete system to sell live online workshops. I'm going to show you exactly what you have to do to be able to sell a live workshop using our software. Okay. Everything I teach you today, you can basically implement regardless of what you use. But obviously, I'm a little bit biased, and I'm going to show you how you can implement it right away with our software. But all the techniques, all the strategies, you can take and use any way you like. Okay. So that's my promise to you. Okay. I'm going to give you the skills. I'm going to give you the plan of action so that you have an action plan at the end of this webinar. And I'm going to give you all the tools that you need. In fact, I'm going to show you how you can do this for free. You can start for free and be able to pull off your first workshop and start selling it. Okay. So that's my job. I'm going to give you all these things. Your job is to pay attention, because you're going to learn how to create and run and sell these workshops seamlessly. Okay. I also want you to take notes. Okay. I also want you to take notes. Why? Taking notes really allows you to start thinking about how you're going to implement this in your own business. Okay. This is super important because this is proof that you're taking action. And I can give you all the information in the world. I can give you all the great strategies. I can give you all the great techniques. I can give you great case studies and examples. But if you don't do anything with it, right, it's not really going to serve you. So this is the first step of doing something with this information, right? Writing down notes and taking notes on how you're going to apply this to your own business. So open up a notebook, open up a note-taking app, a Word doc, whatever you want to do. Go ahead and do that right now. This is your chance to start taking notes as we get started. Okay, so if you have any questions along the way, go ahead and click on the questions tab that's on the screen. It's right next to the chat tab. And you can ask questions now. You can ask questions during my explanation and during the workshop, or even towards the end, anytime. Okay. There's no stupid questions. There's no obvious questions. I'm happy to take any questions when it comes to this topic. But as well, if you have some questions on setting your prices, business, setting up a webinar, I'm happy to help you with that as well. Of course, I'm going to engage with you in the chat just like I already have. So let me know that you are hearing me, you're feeling me, you are ready for this workshop. Give me a thumbs up, give me a fire, give me something in the chat so I know that you are here and you are ready to go, and that everything is all good on your side and you're pumped. So let me know. Just say yes, I'm here, or you want to put a thumbs up and the emoji, or you. Yep, there we go. There we go. We got a piece. We got a thumbs up. Awesome, fire. Great stuff. Let's get it going. So don't forget, guys, ask questions. This is your webinar. So if you have any questions along the way, I'm happy to answer them and make sure that everything is clear. Now, I'm a native New Yorker. I was born and raised in New York, so I might speak a little fast. So if you need me to repeat something, let me know. All right, I'll try to slow down to make sure that everybody is on the same page. But I have a lot to cover. So if you need me to slow down, let me know in the chat. Ask any questions you might have along the way. Good stuff. So for those who don't know me, I'm Omar Zenhom. I'm the co-founder of this software that you're on right now, WebinarNinja. My other co-founder, Nicole, is actually in the webinar today. Special treat for you. I've been an educator for 20 years. So in my first career, I was a high school and university teacher. I taught English as a second language. That was my job. And then I transitioned to full-time entrepreneurship a little over a decade ago. I created online courses. I sold online courses for a living at the start. I've run over 500 webinars in the last 8 years, a lot of that to be able to sell my live workshop and webinars. I'm also a podcast host, which I teach every day on this podcast. It's called the $100 MBA Show. And every day I teach a business lesson on this podcast. It won Best of iTunes. We have over 250 million downloads. It's an incredible, crazy success that I'm very proud of. And it's my way to kind of give back to those who are trying to build their own businesses, because I don't want people to run through the same mistakes I went through. And of course, I'm the co-founder of this software. A little bit about why I started WebinarNinja in the first place. I started teaching courses online. I started teaching on stages, doing live courses, live workshops. And I wanted to sell these products and services. So I ran a webinar. Every single week, I ran a webinar. This is back in 2013. And I would run a webinar every single week, and it would take me about 2 hours to put the webinar together, to put my landing page together, to integrate it with the streaming service, to put my email notifications together, to make sure it all worked and didn't break along the way. I had to make sure when the replay was over that the replay got sent properly and only people have access to the replay are the people that registered. I wanted to make sure time zones are not confusing. It was a lot of work. I hated all the other solutions out there because it was just all half-baked and not built for me, who I just want to show up and teach my workshop or charge for my workshop and be able to teach to my students, and let all the technology kind of dissolve in the background. That's really what I wanted to do, is just focus on the content. And that's kind of why I created WebinarNinja. I just thought there's got to be a better way to do this than me to put together all these pieces of software together: webinar software, landing page software, video storage, email marketing, automation, time zones, polls, offers, analytics. It was just like, oh God, there's a lot of stuff. So I sketched something in my notebook, in my journal, and this was the sketch. And I got actually an illustrator to take my ugly sketch and make it into something that looks like this. This is exactly what I wrote down. I wanted to create a webinar in 10 seconds and I wanted to just show up and have an awesome webinar. I wanted my software to take care of everything from the landing pages, from the emails, from the, charging people so that they can have access to my live workshops, all that kind of stuff. And that's what we created with Webinar Ninja 8 years later. We've had over 2 million people attend a webinar on Webinar Ninja. So proud of how much we were able to impact the world with our software. And really, I'm sharing this with you because I've learned a lot, not only as the founder of this company, but by looking at what works and what doesn't with our own users, so the people that actually use our software, that make a healthy living selling their content, selling their expertise. And I'm going to show you how to do that for yourself. What works and what doesn't. I'm basically going to give you a shortcut. Okay, I'm going to have you avoid all the pitfalls and just simplify. Hey, this is what you have to do to have a viable way to sell your expertise, to sell a workshop, whether it's one-time live workshop or a series of workshops or a course or whatever it might be. Okay, if that sounds so good to you, tell me. Yes, I'll make sure to deliver in today's workshop. So let's jump right into the topic. Now, before I get into all the steps and all the strategy, I want to just express to you that the reason why this is such a booming economy online, the creator economy has grown exponentially over the years. In just this last year, it has grown over 9% in terms of the market share of money that's made online. So people are actually the ability to be able to sell your expertise has really grown a lot over the last few years. And the reason why is because people always need to learn, right? Always need to improve. The economy is changing. The way the opportunities that are coming up and going away. Some technology will replace jobs at some point, and people have to reskill themselves. People need to improve themselves personally because they're dealing with a lot of anxiety, dealing with a lot of pressure. So the point I'm trying to make here is the oldest profession in the world might just be teaching, right? And this is not going away anytime soon. Now, what's great is that now we have great technology to help you easily just take what you know and then sell it at a good price so that you can be able to impact not only one person, but many people at one time. So I'm going to show you how to build this system so that you can be able to attract the right people to what you offer, be able to offer them something that's a no-brainer so that they can buy it. And then once they buy it, how do you keep them customers and keep them buying more from you? We spend so much time trying to get a customer, we forget it's a lot of effort and costs of time and money to get somebody to become a customer. Let's not forget about them. Let's try to capitalize on that and get them to buy more from us or continue to spend money with us in a continuity program. Okay, let's do it. So, when it comes to selling your expertise, when it comes to selling, let's say, a workshop, a live training of some sort, right? I want you to guess, what do you think the 3 biggest problems that people face or worry about when it comes to this topic, okay? You can even share what your anxieties are. What are your problems that come to your head, right? Some of the challenges that you face, some of the things that you think about when it comes to selling your expertise. Tell me in the chat. You can name any problem you might think that's blocking you from getting started, blocking you from maybe even thinking about, how do I do this, right? Or maybe even it's something like, hey, I don't have enough of this, I don't have enough of that. Let me know. What are the 3 big problems? And I'll review for you what the data says, okay? So let me know. There's no wrong answers here, guys, by the way. So just go ahead and pop it in the chat right now. What do you think is some of the problems that hold you back from selling your selling your expertise, for profit? I'd love to hear from you as I take a sip of my water. There you go. Okay, I will reveal them. I'm just giving you a chance to say what you think is one of the problems, one of the blockers that you have right now. If you haven't sold your expertise with a live workshop or a course or anything, what stopped you? What is something that's worrying you right now? Okay. This is a safe space, guys. Don't worry. You can share your answers in the chat. No one's going to judge you. I for sure won't, because it's all about learning here. Okay. Imposter syndrome. I love that answer. Okay. Imposter syndrome, you're worried about, hey, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am, or maybe people won't think I'm good enough. Okay, I love this answer. And the reason why I love this answer is because we all experience this at some level. Even when we get to higher levels, and we start comparing ourselves to some of our heroes, we start thinking, oh man, maybe I'm never going to be as good as them. And the interesting thing that I've learned along the way is we all need to learn, right? And actually, it's helpful for you to learn from somebody that's only a few steps ahead of you. It's more helpful for me to learn something, a new skill from somebody who just learned it maybe just recently, because they are close to what it's like to be a beginner, right? They know what it's like to be me, right? Actually, it's kind of hard. It's not really relatable when I have to learn from like a super expert. This person hasn't been a beginner for a very long time. For example, a lot of people ask me like, I want to launch a new podcast. What are some launch strategies? I'm like, well, I haven't launched my podcast. Last time I launched a podcast was 8 years ago, right? So the climate has changed now. I'm not a podcast expert. I'm a podcaster, but when it comes to launching, maybe you need to ask somebody that launched and had a good launch maybe a few months ago. So I love that answer. So let me give you some of the 3 problems that comes from the data. The first one is people feel like they don't have enough warm leads, meaning I have a small email list. I have nobody to talk to. I'm not sure I have enough people that would be interested in a workshop that I'll sell, right? They just feel like I might launch to crickets. I might sell to somebody and people won't buy because I don't have a big enough lead list, or I don't have enough leads that are warm enough or interested in what I have, right? Difference in warm and cold leads is obviously warm leads are people that are very close to the buying line. They're ready to go. Another problem is I can't consistently convert leads into buyers, meaning sometimes I email them and I say, hey, I have a sale and here is my course, here's my live workshop, and they buy and it's great. Then I try it again and it doesn't do so well. I have no consistent way to get sales. I have no way that I can say every time I do this, I can get sales. When X amount of people sign up, I'm able to get X amount of sales. Once you have this in your business, it's basically like printing money, right? It's basically like every time I need to make cash, influx of cash in my business, I know I can go to this move, right? And this is what I want to teach you, is to show you how to have consistent leads and consistent buyers, because you can't just keep selling to the same leads. How many of you feel like you exhausted your email list, right? You've already emailed them a bunch of times. You can't email them again, third time in a month, right? About buying your product or your course or your workshop. So this is all about how do we get new leads to talk to so that they can buy, right? And then lastly, no retention or LTV strategy. LTV stands for lifetime value, right? A lot of us, we focus on the sale, but we don't really worry about what happens after we get the sale. What do we do with this person, right? Do we have anything else to offer? How do we offer that to them? And this is one of the easiest ways to boost revenue in your business. And you don't have to look far. Every big company that you admire does this, right? They solve multiple problems. They don't just solve one problem, right? So if you have an Apple product, you're very familiar with this, because not only do they create computers, but they create phones and they create watches and they create earbuds and they create an iTunes store. And there's so many problems they're solving because they know that their customer has other problems that need solving, right? So how do we create the strategy for you so that you can continue to sell and earn revenue and give value to your audience in the same time? Okay, so we're going to solve these 3 problems right now, okay? We're going to solve these 3 problems in this workshop. I want you to, for a moment, take a second to imagine something. I want you to imagine you have a clear step-by-step plan to solve these 3 problems, to get enough leads, to convert these leads into sales, and be able to have a retention program so you can continue to sell to existing customers. You have an easy way to get more leads. You have a simple and authentic sales strategy. Let me know in the chat if you get a little bit anxious when it comes to sales. You're not really super comfortable making an offer, whether it's on a webinar or on even email or even in person, right? Ace says definitely, right? Anybody else? Listen, this is super common. You know why it's super common? Most of us, when we went to school as children or even as teenagers, we didn't have a subject called sales, right? We didn't have math, science, history, sales. We didn't have that in the schedule, right? So most of us are not used to this, right? We are uncomfortable with what we don't know. So what I want you to do is imagine for a moment what that looks like. The reason why I say imagine is because we have to first picture in our minds a result that we want. Now, you might think, what is this? A little bit of yoga going on here, a little bit of woo-woo. No, it's the reality of the way things work in life, right? Think about the last time you went on a holiday or went on a vacation or bought a car, right? You didn't just find the car in your garage, right? You didn't just all of a sudden say, okay, I'm going to the airport today because I'm going on vacation. No, you planned it. You pictured in your mind first going to this vacation. I'm going to go to Greece and I'm going to go see, all the beautiful sights and go maybe on a cruise and see the ocean and blah, blah, blah. And you pictured it. And then you took the steps to fulfill that picture in your head. It starts with your head, right? It starts with making that a reality in your head. If you don't picture it first, it just doesn't happen. Okay, so first I want you to do that for a moment because this is important. This is your livelihood, right? This is how you're going to earn your money. This is how you're going to grow your audience and your business. This is if you get this solved, it's going to solve a lot of your problems and your worries. So it's actually worth the time to just think for a moment. Okay, how would I feel if I had all this solved, right? How would it be in my life? What would my life look like? What would it be like when I woke up in the morning? Oh, it would be a lot more comfortable because I know that I know how to make revenue now with my expertise. Okay, so just take a moment to think about it for a second because what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you a full system to do this. And I call it the online sales machine. Okay. I've been teaching this for over 3 years right now to all our users at Webinar Ninja. And it's great because it's very simple and it's easy to build. Okay. So let me first give you an overview of this sales machine, and then I'm going to show you how to build each piece. Sounds good? Let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if that sounds good. I'm going to give you an overview first, tell you what the pieces are, and then I'm going to break down how to build each one. Okay. Awesome stuff. Okay. So the first part of the sales machine is attract. Okay. We have to attract the right people, right? We have to put out the right content so that people understand, okay, I have what you need, right? We want to attract buyers. We want to attract people that have a problem, know they have a problem, and are willing to pay for a solution. Okay. Let me say that again. I want to attract buyers, people that have a problem. They know they have a problem. So they're aware that they have a problem and they want to solve it and are willing to pay for it. Right. This is very important because if if they're not aware they have a problem, then they're not going to find your solution really useful. They're going to be like, that's not my problem. Even if they have this problem, if they're not aware of it, it's a problem. And they have to be willing to pay for it. They must value the solution enough for them to pay for it. Okay. So that's the first part of it, attract. Number two, we have to take those people that have this problem and are willing to pay for it, and we have to convert them into a buyer. All right. It's not enough for them to like our content and be on our email list and be in our newsletters and enjoy this. How do we get them over the buying line? How do we actually create a situation where it becomes a no brainer for them, where they don't have any more excuses not to buy? Like, okay, this makes total sense. This solves my problem completely. I understand by doing this and taking this live workshop that I'll get this result. So it's clear to them that, hey, this is an easy decision. This is your job to make sure that it's an easy decision for them to say yes. That's convert. Number three is retain. How to retain these people after they bought from us so they are well aware that we have more solutions for them. We have more ways to be able to improve their quality of life or their business or whatever you offer. Okay. And this allows them to stay in touch with you and stay close to the buying line. So you attract them, they became a buyer, right? You don't want them to just forget about buying things from you again, right? You want them to understand that you have other solutions to help them as well, and you can retain them as a customer. What's awesome about this is that this becomes a flywheel. So once they become a customer and you retain them and you give them results and you give them what they want, you're able to get great case studies, great testimonials that you can then use, you guessed it, to attract new customers, right? And this becomes a machine after you've run it a few times, and it helps propel things. And what happens is after some time, it becomes much, much easier. You don't have to push the boulder up the hill. The boulder's being pushed down the hill. Okay. Does that make sense? Does this framework make sense to you? Let me know in the chat. Say yes, thumbs up, something. I want to hear from you to make sure that you fully understand these three parts. Love it. Okay, let's break it down. What is attract? What is convert? What is retain? How do we build these systems in our business? Okay, so let's start with attract. How do you attract the perfect students? Right? You want the perfect students. You want the people that actually are hungry, are dying for what you have. When they see the topic of your workshop or they see the topic of what you're selling, they're like, yes, please. I've been looking for this all my life. Okay. Where have you been? You want these types of people. Okay. Because this makes it easier for you to be able to make a sale. The better quality lead it is when you're attracting them, the easier it is for you to convert them into a sale because they don't need much convincing, right? You don't want to have somebody that you have to beg and plead and negotiate with to get a sale because that's not a high quality sale. You want people that are actually, once they understand what you're offering, they're like, okay, sign me up. That's what you're looking for. Okay. So, how do you attract these perfect students? Well, it's important for you to understand who they are, right? Most of us as business owners don't do this, which is actually quite, very surprising. But we're going to do it right now together. Okay. So, just in case you haven't done it, we're going to do it together. And even if you have done it before, it's good to revisit this. So, there's 3 steps we're going to do right now so that we can define who these people are. We have to define who these people are. Who are these people we want? Who is the ideal customer, the ideal lead? Okay. And in your notes right now, write down that question. Who do I want to buy my course? What do they look like? What do they do? What are their hopes? What are their fears? Right? How much money do they make? Right? What does their house look like? As much detail as you like, because right here we need to understand the demographic we're looking for, not in terms of just these superficial things, but also who they are as a person, right? Are they in their second career? Like, for example, a lot of our customers who are coaches and creators, this is not their first, rodeo, right? They've had jobs before in other careers, and now they become full-time entrepreneurs. So it's their second career. They're experienced people. Okay, so you're gonna have to define who they are. So here are some questions to help you define uh, your audience or the people that you want to attract. Okay, who are they? Okay, what are they worried about? Okay, what would make them feel better right now? Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say, for example, me. Okay, I do a lot of work on the computer. As much as possible, I use a standing desk because my back gets sore sometimes. So I am a 40-something-year-old guy who is an entrepreneur. I'm busy. I'm worried that I will get older and have worse back pain. That's what I'm worried about, right? And I won't be flexible and I won't be able to, be able to be mobile as I get older, right? And what will make me feel great right now is to know that I have a healthy back, that I won't be in pain now or in the future. That would make me feel better to know that I can have control over this problem. It's kind of worrying me a little bit, and I want to make sure that I have a system or a way to feel better. Okay, that's just an example of me answering these questions. And your avatar, the person that you're trying to define, it's gonna be different depending on what you offer. So, somebody in the chat, tell me what you offer as a course or a content or information or training, and I can go through this with you. So you can just pop it in. Like, I help people, declutter their closet, or I help people, improve their wardrobe. Let me know what you do, or how do you help them? What do you help people with? Okay, and I'll go through that. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is that's the first step of defining who they are. Right? We answer these questions to know who they are. Next, we're gonna create value for them. Right? We're gonna create, now that I know what they're worried about, and I know what would make them feel better right now, I can create some piece of value to attract this person, right? So, for example, if my avatar said, this person, my avatar loves to bake, especially chocolate chip muffins. They love these kinds of things. They're sweet tooths, and they love to bake and make their family happy by sharing their baked goods, right? Then I would create something of value to help them achieve that, right? Some piece of value. And what I mean by that is, we're going to create a piece of content. We're going to create a short PDF, right? We're going to shoot a 5-minute video, and we're going to put this all together and create a watch now webinar. Okay, this is like an automated webinar. And this is how we're going to automate our leads, right? I'm going to walk you through this. Now, the reason why this is so short is because I want people to get a win quickly. I don't want them to get a win later on. It takes them a week or it takes them 5 days. How many of you have signed up for a newsletter or signed up for an opt-in that says, hey, sign up for my free course, 7-day course? Do you actually go through the course? I mean, it takes a lot of time to go through that. Do you actually go through the 2-hour video workshop when you just learned about somebody, right? Probably not. So what I want to do here is I want to get them a quick win right away. So in the example I gave with the person that's a sweet tooth, loves baking, wants to create chocolate chip muffins, I would create an amazing chocolate chip muffin recipe if that's my niche, and that would be my short PDF. I would then create a 5-minute video that explains this recipe, like a short cooking show, and say, hey, let's create these muffins. Let me show you how to do them. And I walk them through so they can do it right away. So they feel motivated, they can do it right away. And I put this together in a Watch Now webinar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you how you can create this webinar very easily. Okay, it's so simple to put this together. So then this becomes your machine for creating high quality leads, because I'm attracting them with high quality content, the content that I know they want. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen real quick so you could see. Okay, and I'll just maximize my screen here. Okay, so I just hit create webinar inside my WebinarNinja account, and I can create any kind of webinar inside of WebinarNinja. We have live, we have automated, we have series, we have hybrid. So this is an automated webinar. So I'm going to create automated webinar. So let's say, for example, we're going to go with the yoga poses or the chocolate chip muffins. Let's go with the chocolate chip muffins. All right. So create some chocolate chip muffins your family will love. And I know that because I defined that this is what matters to them. Your family will love, right? So now I have the title. This is going to be free, but I can make any webinar a paid webinar. We'll talk about that in a moment. And I'm going to choose the watch now option. So you can create automated webinars that air on specific dates, or you can just do watch now, which means you can instantly access this webinar. We want to do this because I want them again to consume it right away. And I can choose how long I want to run it for. So let's say I'm just going to run it for the end of August, and I'll evaluate. And then I'm going to add a video. So I'm going to record a 5-minute video on my computer. You can use QuickTime or whatever you're using on your computer. If you don't have a recorder on your video, you can always just run a live webinar inside of WebinarNinja. We will record it for you, and then you can just grab that recording and put it inside as a video file. So simple. But let's say, for example, I have a video. I can add a new video by adding one from YouTube, or I can upload it from my computer right here. But let's say I use one of my videos here I already have. Here we go. And I add video. Okay. And then once I'm done, I hit create webinar. And it's going to create the whole automated webinar for me. I'm talking about everything: sales page, registration page, everything. Okay. So here's my automated webinar. Okay. Once I'm ready to go, I can always publish it. But again, if I wanted to, I can edit things like my registration page. This is built into WebinarNinja so that you don't have to create your own landing pages. You can choose one of our minimalist registration pages like this, and you can change the image if you like. Use one of our royalty-free images that are in our gallery right here. Okay, so say, for example, or you can use one of your images that you've uploaded in your media library. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm going to use, let's go to the gallery here and use this. This looks like maybe some flower or something, right? And I can always change my branding colors as well right here if I wanted to. Let's say I want to use this color and all that stuff. I can also change the template. We have many different kinds of templates that you could choose from. If you want to change the template, you can use save templates if you want at the same time as well. So let me just go ahead and, for example, show you some of these templates. I'm just going to switch back for a second, make sure there's nothing in the chat real quick. Cool. Everybody's good to go. Okay, so my templates are loading here. I got a million templates in my account. There's like over 500 templates I have inside here. But let me show you real quick what you could do with all the different templates. So, for example, you have the minimal template, you have a detail template, you have a neat template. You even have one that you can add video to. So you can insert a video here if you want to like sell the automated webinar to people with some detailed video. You can change all these aspects, add bullet points. It's so simple. You don't need to be a coder or a designer or anything like that. You could just change things on the fly. As you can see right here, boom, change this up like that. Cool. And I can just maybe change the opacity to make it a little bit nicer looking. So cool. So once I'm done, I can hit save, and I can then go and edit other things if I want. I can edit my thank you page. We also have built-in email notifications inside of each webinar. So for example, if I want to change my email notifications, let me just show my sessions here. Okay, right here. And I want to edit my thank you registration email notifications. I could do that. I can add new notifications if I wanted to, up to me. So simple to do. So once I'm ready to go, I can just hit publish. Okay. And I can choose to make this private or public. I'll make this private because it's not a real webinar. And let me just say it's arts because it's cooking. And I hit publish and webinar is published. All good to go. So now I can just go ahead and share it, grab the link, and I will go ahead and I'll share my entire screen real quick. Or I'll open a incognito tab here. Boom. So you can see what it looks like for an attendee. So I'm sharing. This is exactly what it looked like. Nice and simple. There's no video here, so it won't show it. And it's ready to go. People can register for the webinar. Nice and simple. You don't have to do anything. We did everything for you in the back end. Beautiful. So that's how you create your first step of the attraction funnel, okay? So that you can be able to attract your customers. Okay, let me just go ahead and stop sharing screen real quick and go back to my slides. Here we go. So again, just to recap, we're going to create a watch now webinar, right? From there, we're going to then create a timed handout. Inside of Webinar Ninja, we can create timed handouts, which is really cool because this allows us then to be able to offer our next step of the funnel, which I'll tell you, the next step of this program, of this whole system, which is to invite them to a live webinar. This live webinar is our chance to sell then our workshop, right? It's our chance to show them that you can trust what we offer. I can show you, for example, some wins. I can teach you live. And this is super important because you're selling content. Your workshop is content, right? They want to see if you're a good teacher. And if they could see it live with a live webinar, it's proof that they're going to invest wisely, meaning that they don't feel like they're going to waste their money if they buy your workshop. So I'm going to show you how this all works in a moment. And what this does is this allows one thing to lead to the next. So we have the automated webinar. We're going to create an offer inside, right? And we're going to tell them, hey, the call to action to this webinar is to attend my next live webinar. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that in a second, okay? So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to create that offer inside as well, okay? So simple because inside of Webinar Ninja, we have everything built in. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Here we go, share. And now I'm inside. This is the video I put in.
A lot of entrepreneurs, they kind of just put this on the back burner.
Webinar.
They kind of forget
and
about
if I go
this.
To the
they
right
don't really
here,
have an action plan for the year. We want to basically do this for you, help you have a plan of action so that you're moving in the right direction with your business.
Sign up now.
So we are running,
and I can add an image if I wanted to.
My partner and I are going to be running a 2-hour mini course called Win the Year.
For example,
what is Win the Year? Well, it's a cohesive, complete program for you to just jump in so that you can plan and execute your action plan for the year ahead. We're going to share with you what has worked for our business. We're going to share with you our templates. We're going to show you how many goals to set,
audio's playing,
how to choose your goals.
Let me just go ahead and shut off the audio real quick here for you. Okay, here we go. Now that should be good. Okay, so again, so we're going to create the offer. I just put the title, join me live to learn how to create the perfect birthday cake. Because we did muffins, now we're going to do cake. And then I can put text, sign up here. And then I just put the link of where I want them to go. For example, to sign up, which is the registration page for my live webinar. I'll show you where to get this link in a moment. Okay. So we're going to hit save. And now that offer is ready to go. I can even make it timed. So when I in the video, at the end of the video, I can say, sign up for my live webinar where we're going to do a live cooking class. You could do it right here. And we could just say, okay, do that at, 3 minutes and let's say 21 seconds or 23 seconds, for example. And then it will just go off at that point, right? It knows actually the video is not that long. It's 1 minute and 52. So let's say 1 minute and 23 seconds. I hit update and it will show at that time. As you can see, it showed it live because, hey, it's already at that time. So simple. You can create an offer to lead to the next part. Okay. So So let me go back to my slides, and we're going to go to the second part, which is to convert. So again, 3 steps to attract, which is define who these people are, create a piece of value, which is our automated webinar, the PDF, the thing they can download, and the actual invite, okay, to the next webinar. Remember I said the PDF, you can also download the PDF inside of WebinarNinja. So that's so simple as well, so that if for any reason, let me just go ahead and show you that. Okay. So here I go. And if I go to the offers handouts tab, I can just add any PDF I want. Like here he goes. Great muffins. Right. And I can put a description here and let's say like, this is great. Right. And I add a file, any PDF file I want. I could put slides as well if I want to. Here's a checklist. I add it, save. I can also make a timer here to say when I want this to go off. So let's say at 50 seconds, update, and it will show it. And then they can download it directly inside of WebinarNinja so that you don't have to send them anywhere else. We'll upload and host the file for you, and they can download your PDF. Okay, cool. So that is the attract part. Let's talk about the convert part, okay? So far, so good. Let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if everything is good so far. We're going to then convert them into customers. And we're going to do this in a live webinar. Like I said, we're going to show them a live webinar. And in this live webinar, we're going to teach basically a portion of what we're going to sell, right? Which is a live workshop, okay? And in this step, I'm going to show you how to do that in WebinarNinja very quickly so that you can see how you could do it both ways, right? How you can be able to create a webinar for the live webinar to sell, but also how to offer a live workshop inside of WebinarNinja so you could sell that as well as a product, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick, okay, and show you how to do that. So we're going to create this webinar together, okay? So now, again, we're going to create a webinar, and in this step, we're going to call it How to Bake a Birthday Cake. That's what we said that this webinar is about. Now, remember, this is a live webinar where we're going to teach live content and then sell our program, our workshop, right? We're going to say, hey, if you like this workshop and you want to learn how to then, I don't know, decorate your cake or create a whole meal for birthday, then you're going to love my live workshop. So how to bake a birthday cake, okay? And this is so simple with a live webinar because all you need to do is just choose a date and time. Say, for example, you're going to do it on April 19th. Let's say you do it at 4 p.m. and the time zone is set in your own account. So you can choose your time zone. And then for the registrant, it will convert it automatically so they know what time it is. And it will show them in all the email notifications their local time zone. So it's nice and simple. So this is free because you're going to do this live webinar free. Okay. So we're going to create this webinar. And again, everything in the background is created for you. Registration pages, thank you pages, email notifications, everything is done. Okay. So once it's done, there you go. You'll find it here, how to bake a birthday cake. Let's do this again. Now we're going to create the actual workshop you're going to sell on this. So let's say my baking masterclass. Sorry, I typed too fast. Enter. My baking masterclass. Okay. And now I'm going to choose a date and time for this live workshop. Let's say 26th, and I'm going to do it at 3 p.m. for 1 hour. Or maybe I'll do 2 hours for this workshop. Why not? And now I'm going to make it paid. Again, this is a paid workshop. Okay. So you could choose your currency at any time in your settings. You could do this and it will convert to the currency that you'd like. But let's say I'm going to do this for $100 for this live workshop. Okay. And I'm going to give them my recipe book and I'm going to give them the recording for free, all that. So I'm going to create this webinar and it's all going to be created. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to this webinar. I'm going to publish it just so you could see what it looks like for somebody who's buying. Okay, let's make this private. It's arts, publish. And again, I'm going to share, copy the link. This is the link I'm going to use. Now remember, for the birthday cake webinar, for the webinar that we're going to do to sell, this is when we publish it, we're going to use the link and pop it into the automated webinar offer, because that's where we want them to go, right? So one offer goes to this. And then in the offer for this one, I'm going to put this link to sell my course. So it all links together, nice and simple. Okay. And let me just go ahead and open up a new incognito window so you could see what this looks like. Share this tab. Okay. And here we go. They could buy it by just clicking on this button. They put their name and email address. And then the next step is they're going to be able to pay for it. So for example, I'm going to put my name, right? And I'll put Omar plus test. Okay. And I hit pay now. It's going to ask me for my credit card information. I pop this in. Once I pop it in, it's going to charge me and you get paid. Nice and simple. So as you can see, we have built everything in here so you can easily charge for your expertise. Okay, let me go back to my slides now so that I can show you how you can make the whole sales process a little easier. Okay, so we all want to make sales without being salesy. Okay, before we go into this and give you some sales techniques, how many of you have found that easy to build the automated webinar and the live webinars inside of WebinarNinja? Was that pretty simple, pretty straightforward? Let me know. If it was easy, write easy. If you thought it was not so easy, right? Not so easy. So I just want to get some feedback. How easy was that to be able to create, just set the dates and times and everything's created for you? Let me know in the chat. So you want to make sales without being salesy. Obviously, you want to feel like you're making sales, but not like a pushy salesperson. So a good thing to think about is why we buy anything. When you buy something, why do you buy it? Okay. Why did you buy your car? Why did you buy the last pair of shoes you had? What about your phone? Right? Why did you buy these things? Okay. And it boils down to one thing. Okay. It boils down to that you perceived the value was more than the price. Meaning when you saw that pair of shoes in the window, you saw the value of those shoes. You like those shoes more than it costs, right? You saw that phone and you said that phone is worth more to me. Having that phone would mean more than what it costs in terms of dollars. Okay. So the bottom line is that if you want to sell easily, all you got to do is show more value, right? Most people are not showing enough value. So when you are creating creating your live webinar and you are showing your skills, your job is to show them how valuable that is going to be in their life. What's the outcome? What's the after picture? So for example, if I'm showing them how to create a birthday cake, I'm not going to show them, oh, and take a bite of it. This is delicious. That's not really why they're creating the cake. Where they're creating the cake is so that, you're going to paint the picture and say, your family's going to be impressed. Your kids are going to have a great time. It's going to look great on pictures, right? It's going to look incredible, on Instagram, right? All that kind of stuff that resonates with people and why they're creating the cake in the first place, so that they create something impressive for their family. Okay. So if you show enough value, this makes it easier. So now you're just showing and you're not selling, right? It's like you're giving them a demo of what they're going to expect. So if you're selling a live course, then you're gonna be like, hey, or a live workshop. Hey, in this live workshop, I'm going to teach this and this so that you can, very important phrase there, so that you can have a great birthday party, so that you can have great memories with your family, so that you can look great in photos with next to your cake, so that you can have happy kids on birthday and say, I love you, mom, or I love you, dad, right? That's really why they're buying. So that's what you need to do, is show more value. Okay. So we talked about the attract. We talked about the convert. Now we're going to talk about the retain, right? Because retaining your customers are just as important as getting customers. Okay. Because here are some great stats for you. 60 to 70% of existing customers are more likely to buy versus new leads, which is 5 to 20%. So if you want high value sales, easy sales, you sell to somebody who has bought from you. They have no doubts now that you can deliver because you've delivered for them already. Okay. It costs 7 times more to acquire a new customer than retain an old one. So it's better to keep your customers and keep them buying from you than to try to go out and get new ones with paid ads, right? Loyal customers spend 67% more than new ones, meaning they're willing to spend more money with you. So if they bought one thing, they're probably willing to spend more money on a higher value product or service, maybe a coaching program, or maybe even a long-term program. So these are some great stats that I pulled from an article from HubSpot. And it's really a good indication of, hey, I should really invest in my retention. So how do I do that? Well, what I love to do is I love to run a monthly webinar. And this works great. So this means you invite anybody who has bought anything from you, whether it's one time or they're reoccurring, whether they bought one course from you or one workshop, or they bought 10, or they're a member or a coaching client. Every month you basically create this open office hours. It's a 60 second, 60, it takes 60 seconds to create a live webinar. It's very quick to create a live webinar. And you just invite them, hey, tell them, would you like to learn and ask questions? Open Q&A, right? You can ask me any questions you like. And then at the end of the webinar, after you've given great value, is like office hours, they can ask questions. Say, what's your biggest takeaway? Ask them in the chat, what's your biggest takeaway today? And they'll pop it in the chat. This will be a great way for you to grab testimonials. You can just email them and say, hey, would you mind me using that comment in a testimonial? Is that good? Awesome. And you can use that in your marketing, right? And you can even make an offer on these monthly webinars, in these office hours webinars, if you have some products or services that can help them. So you can continue to retain and get new customers. I love this because it's just one webinar a month to get you sales every single time from customers that have already bought from you. I love it. Okay, so we have the attract portion with an automated webinar. We then have the convert portion, which is a live webinar where we're giving a live workshop and then offering our live paid workshop with a paid webinar. We then have the retain portion where we're doing a monthly reoccurring live office hours webinar where we can give more value to our customers and then sell them something that can help them further on in their journey in their life or in their business. Okay. So these are the three pieces of the puzzle. You now know how to sell your expertise online. I've given you a full system. The only question left is, will you take action? Okay. There will be people on this webinar that take action, and there's people that don't. And that is what gives you that competitive advantage, is that you are able to listen to something, learn something, and then implement it. What I found is that momentum is so important in business, meaning that once you start feeling like you've learned something and that you can use this in your business, stopping and waiting and thinking about it is really what shoots you in the foot. What you need to do is capitalize on that momentum, capitalize on that energy, because it's fresh in your mind and you'll be able to take action right away. So my question to you is, would you like to implement your very own sales machine, right, with far greater ease? Would you like to do this in an easy way? I gave you a framework, but would you like to do it easily? Let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up, yes, no, maybe so. Let me know. Would you like to do it with far greater ease? Would you like to do it with 24/7 help support? Would you like tutorials and video training, right? Would you like it with one software tool so you don't have to buy a million pieces of software to make this all work? Everything I showed you today, you can do it with our software, okay? If you said yes to any of these, then I'm going to show you how you can sell your expertise with one tool with WebinarNinja. I'm going to give you a special offer today if you'd like to sign up and get started. Every plan that we have has a 14-day free trial, which means you don't pay for anything right now. So if you sign up right now, you get the offer. You don't pay for anything right now. You have 14 days to evaluate to see if this is right for you. Maybe run a webinar or two to see if this is right for you. Make some sales even, and it can pay for itself. Many of our customers do this. And then after 14 days, you're charged for the plan. But of course, you have 14 days to decide for yourself. So let me tell you what it comes with, right? It comes with unlimited automated webinars. That means unlimited leads, unlimited handouts, unlimited video storage. It also comes with unlimited live webinars. So you can run your demos, you can run your workshops, you can run your paid workshops, you can run unlimited offers, and we record all your live webinars automatically, and it's available instantly after the webinar is over. You'll also get unlimited landing pages, so you can build all the different landing pages, registration pages, thank you pages, and statistics right inside your account. You don't need a separate piece of software for that. And we customize the landing page depending if it's a free or paid, as I showed you. The paid one has a checkout process, which is fantastic. And you can track all your results with our statistics. We record all the chat and the Q&A so that you can download it and analyze it later if you'd like. Remember, I told you about the testimonials. It's great to grab those testimonials in the chat. We have unlimited paid webinars. So that means you can charge your expertise with a live workshop easily at any time. We take 0%. We integrate directly with Stripe, so we don't take a cut. It's just the regular transaction fee that Stripe charges, and you can accept credit cards instantly. Literally takes 2 minutes for people to set up inside of our account. You'll also get unlimited emails. Inside of Webinar Ninja, you have triggered timed emails, automated reminders, segmented emails if they attended, did not attend, all that kind of stuff. So this is all built into Webinar Ninja, so you don't need to have separate email notifications or emails to send out to your registrants or your customers. Okay? Now, so you have 14 days for free. You can test it out, run a few webinars, but at least by signing up today, for the first 14 days, again, so what most people do is that they give this a try. They run a few webinars. They see what it's like for their own business. They get a few wins, and then they're happy with it, and they stick around. And this is why I like to do this. This is why we offer 14-day trials, because you need all the information to make a decision, and you get all the information by trying it out, okay? So thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'll take them now. You can pop them in the questions area or in the chat. But remember, if you have any questions, please let me know. Pop it in the chat right now. I'll happily take any questions you like, or you can pop them in the questions area. If not, let me know in the chat right now. What was your number one takeaway from today's webinar? What was the one takeaway that really helped you or gave you an insight? Pop in your number one takeaway in the chat right now. I want to hear from you. Thanks for providing such helpful sources. Thanks, Ice. What was your number one takeaway? Let me know, guys. Okay, sounds good, guys. Guys, remember this: if you want to review any of this content, you will get a replay. It will automatically be sent to you by email offer. So thank you so much, guys, for this. Thank you. It was really insightful, and really thank you so much for being here, guys. And if you need anything from us, don't forget you can reach out to support@webinarninja.com at any time in our chat bubble, or you can email support@webinarninja at any time. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I will check you on the next webinar. Refreshed our motivation. Thanks a lot. Well, thank you. We really appreciate it. Yavuz, we really appreciate it. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys on the next webinar. Take care.